Hi, I'm Balsa Scratch Build Richard. Hey everybody. This is actually my second recording of this series because I'm not all that great in front of the camera, and the first one turned out really bad, so I'm redoing it. And first of all, I want to introduce you to my two co-builders because I'm sure you'll see them somewhere in one of my next videos. This is Garfield. I rescued him when he was a kitten, and he's been my big cat ever since. Okay, and I'll be right back with my other co-builder. Okay, and my second co-builder, this is Mola. I also rescued her when she was a kitten. She was out running around free as just a little baby, and so I took her in and rescued her. Now, the reason I'm doing this is so that you can see my two co-builders, and as you saw in the beginning, this is dedicated to my third one who died at 6 months of age. He was going to be my third co-builder. But, hi baby. Anyhow, we're going to be talking about the different types of scratch builds there are. There are people who do styrofoam scratch builds. Watch out, Garfield. Anyhow, there are people that do styrofoam. I'm sorry, I do not do styrofoam builds. But you can use these techniques for styrofoam builds. I do balsa builds. Now, the first one is what I call a semi-full kit. And the reason I call it a semi-full kit is because, anyhow, is because it basically comes with everything you need. Your ribs for your wings, fuselage, stabilizer, rudder, all the spars that you need to connect. The things that do not come with it and do not come with any of these kits are the electronics, your motor, your connecting rods, anything to do with your radio. All of this is separate, and you'll have to buy separately. The semi-kit also does not come with any covering, whether it be monocoat or balsa covering. Now, in most of the cases, they do have the stable landing gear, but you have to buy the tires. If you decide to modify to like a retract, you'll have to buy the new retract landing gear. This is the kit that I'm working on right now. It's a P-51 Mustang. It has let me take a look here. Oh, it's got a 57-inch wingspan on it. Now this one I have done some modifications to from the original plans, which I will be showing in another video, several other videos after this. Next type is what's called a short kit. Short kit is basically comes with the cutouts for your ribs, your fuselage, your stabilizer, and your rudder. What it does not come with is any of the spars that connect them. You will have to buy those separately. Also, any covering, anything that I mentioned that does not come with the semi kit does not come with the Balsa kit. Now these are normally large planes with large wingspans, anywhere from about, we'll say, 6 feet on up. And this is an image here of what my next build is. This is a semi kit. It's a Cessna 410C, I believe 410C. And I will be doing videos of that build also. Now the third type is a plan build, which basically you buy or you make your own plans for your plane. You transfer the templates to balsa wood, then either using an X-Acto knife or a hobby saw, you cut all these pieces out. And then you build your framework and your wings. Now with these, you will have to buy all of the balsa and plywood that you're going to need to do these builds. Now, when you transfer onto the balsa, you can do one of two things. You can either cut the templates out, which I really hate doing because then you're not able to use them again. Or you can take and put carbon copy paper between the balsa and your plans, and then do a trace, and that'll put your print onto the balsa. Now there is another way to do these plans. It is a little more expensive because you're in, and that is using a laser printer. They're also called laser cutters. Now these can run anywhere between $200 all the way up to $6,000. The nice thing about this, you scan the templates, they go into your computer, you load them into the software for the cutter, then you just put your balsa wood in there and cut. There's no tracing, none of that, and you'll have an exact laser cut piece for your build. Okay, now that we've gone through the three types of builds there are, now what you're going to need to do your builds. As you can see here, Garfield wants to get into the show, so we're going to try to do this with him here. First of all, you're going to need some screwdrivers. Now, I picked this set because it's a set that by Stanley, and They're small and they're great for working on servos, the mounting screws. They work a lot better than a large, awkward standard screwdriver. Now the next thing you're going to need, let me put this over here, are some pliers. I really recommend that you get a pair of needle nose because you will get into tight spots that you will need them to either grab something or move something. Next, remove those. I suggest a hobby saw. This is great when it comes to cutting your plywood and a lot of the thicker balsa woods. Next, let's move this out of the way. You'll need an X-Acto knife kit. Now, the one thing about the X-Acto knives is that the kit that I bought came with blades, but I went through a lot of blades real fast, so you will need to buy a lot of extra blades. I have actually split this one and I need to fix the end, but this is the main one that I use all the time. This is the type of blade that I use all the time. Now, I had to buy, it was 6 or 7 extra blades for this. Ooh, that is really broken. Okay, anyhow, next, Garfield, let go of that. Thank you. I know you want to get in here and help, but okay. Next is I don't have my regular crimpers in here, but you'll need a set of crimpers, the wire strippers. Now, this isn't necessary for the main build, but it will be necessary for another video I'm going to do on servo leads and extensions. Next, you will need some stick pins. Me, I like using these T-pins. You'll need those for holding your balsa pieces in place while you do the dry fit, and also when you do the gluing and you use a glue that does not set immediately. Another thing you're going to need, which I'm not showing here right now, is some cardboard. And I bought several cardboard pieces, large cardboards to cut out for the table from Office Depot, I believe it was, or Office Max, one of the two. But because if you don't use the cardboard, trying to stick into the wood or into any table is going to be extremely hard. Next, you're going to need masking tape. This is going to be for to hold down your plans onto the cardboard, and also here. Most people, they suggest that when you're doing your builds, you have your cardboard, your plans, and then on top of that you have wax paper. I tried wax paper, and it's really not that great of a deal. It's supposed to be to help save your plans from getting destroyed from gluing that, but I found that when you use like a thin set glue, it will drip, and it will also silk right through the wax paper, glue your wax paper right to your plans. So instead I use saran wrap, and I use the tape to hold the saran wrap down. That way you got a nice clear and of your plans, and your plans are going to be extremely well protected in case you want to use them again later. Next, you're going, Noah, I'm sorry everybody. They just love to get in here and be by me when I'm working. But you got to move, Noah. Anyhow, next you're going to need sandpaper. This is a 3M block, standard type of sanding block. Now, this is great for when you need to do a lot of rough sanding, like on my P-51, I need to sand down the cowling area, and that was all block wood, and this is great for starting that out. But my favorite is this here. It's a T-bar. It's great for when you're doing some large flat surfaces. I should have gotten the longer one. There's two different sizes. There's this one, and then there's almost a 12-inch one. Now the great thing about this is that the sandpaper comes in rolls, and it's sticky on one side. It comes in a lot of different grits. You just unroll the sandpaper like this on top of it, and then cut your length off. Okay, next, I don't have a picture of a good one to use, but you will need a drill. Now, I'm planning on getting a new one. This is extremely awkward. What I suggest is a cordless, a small cordless drill. You will need this for your mountings for your motor and all that. Next is a Dremel. Now you don't absolutely need this, but it comes in extremely handy. You will find that there are times that you'll get things into place and you'll need to cut some material out, and this is great for getting into those tight spots to shave off some material that's in the way for like your landing gear or things like that. Next, you'll need a set of Allen wrenches. I suggest that you have both standard and metric. This one's a standard. The metric's sitting back there. But you will find that you will need this for a lot of bolts that you may buy. It's a much better type of screw to use, as you really won't strip out the screws like this, and the standard Phillips you can't really grab them real well. Next, you're going to need glue. Now, there's 4 types of glue that I use. I've only got 2 of them showing here. This is my Gorilla Super Glue. This is for parts that I go ahead and I've dry fitted. They may not be extremely tight, so I use this to get them locked into place. And then I use a thick set glue, CA glue, to fill in the areas where the parts are not fitting real tight. Now there's a thin set glue. This is the glue that I was telling you about that drips really bad and will soak through wax paper. That is good for parts that you've already tightly fit and they're perfectly in place. The thin set glue, you're just going to take and run it along the joints of those pieces, and it will soak down into each piece and permanently bond those. And now the 4th type, you'll actually need 2 different ones. A 5-minute or a 15-minute 2-part epoxy and a 30-minute 2-part epoxy. Now the uses for these are going to depend on how quick you can get your pieces together and have them in place where you want the epoxy to set up. It's going to be used for stronger areas like when you put your wings together, which I'll show you on another video. Also for things like your stabilizer, attaching that to your frame, your fuselage. Now, last but not least, I know this is not necessary, but this is extremely handy. It's a Brothers printer. And what I do is I use this to place on the servo leads and the leads that come off the radio so that I know exactly where each lead is going to get connected when I put my wings on and mount everything together when I get out to the airfield. Now I do have one other thing that, okay, Mullet, you're going to have to move. Sorry about this, everyone. Let me grab this other. One suggestion that I have is I bought these This I bought at Walmart. They were 2 for $10, and they're great for sorting out pieces. The upper section have removables, so you can make them to the size that you need. Come on, I know you're a camera hog, but get out of there. Anyhow, these are going to be great for bringing things like extra leads, servos, stuff like that out to the airfield with you. And the one thing I love about these is that this here, these little red pieces, you stack each of these on top, slide this back, and they lock into one piece. So it makes them great for taking out to the airfield. Okay. Okay, so that's about it for this episode. Now, oh, one other thing you're going to need is a nice, flat, strong table. Now, this one that I've been using to show you everything is a table that I borrowed from my son. And it worked great for the P-51. But when I do the Cessna, because that is got a 10-foot wingspan, I need a larger table, wider table. And in two upcoming videos, I'm going to be doing how to build a custom work table with legs that you'll be able to remove, so it makes it easy for moving around to other rooms, things like that. And then I will also be doing, excuse me, I'll also be doing a video on doing a floating shelf, with recessed lights in it to light up the work area that you'll be in. So please subscribe and click on the little bell for notifications so that it'll keep you up to date when I add these new videos. And like I said, I have a video upcoming on the build on the P-51. Unfortunately, I started these videos late in the build, so a lot of the P-51s are going to be still images of the progression of the builds. But once we get caught up to where I am, then I'll be doing some live videos. Well, regular videos of the builds. So until next time, keep your feet on the ground, keep your planes flying high, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.